So yeah, so let me write over here pandas. So pandas is an open source Python library basically. Okay, it provides us a high performance for data analysis, for manipulating the data, for storing the data, for stacking the data, many things. It gives us a very brief explanation of it. Now, pandas actually came from the Greek word. Uh, Basically, we were calling as panel of data. Okay, so these are very key features of the pandas that are it has a fast and efficient data frame object. Then tools for loading data are very easier in pandas. It has a good memory utilization, memory allocation, and grabbing the data from the memory is very fast. Okay, now over here we have the columns, we have groups, we have indexing, we have different type of data frames like series, data frames, then we have panels. Now what are series, data frames, panels we'll discuss on later on. So you can understand that pandas is basically all based on handling and managing and analysis of data. So this is what pandas is. So you can tell it as a part of data structure also. Now, coming to the installation of the pandas, it's similar to the installation of NumPy. If you don't have pandas pre-installed, you can install like pip install pandas. This is the code that you can do it if you don't have pandas pre-installed. Now, if you are using Anaconda as the Python utilization, then what happens in Anaconda, the library is by default installed, predefined or pre-installed. So you need not do this. You need not to do this. You can directly access pandas through import. When we import it, we can directly access the pandas. Now, if you go for these pandas, you can say data structures. So pandas has basically three data structures. So the first data structure is series. First data structure is series. The second data structure you can say as data frames. Data frames. And the third data structure is panel. Okay, this is panel. Now, what is the difference in this? Series is basically a one-dimensional object, you can say, a data frame object. Now, if you write series over here, it has one dimensional, one dimension, and it is a homogeneous array, you can say, comma, homogeneous array. Homogeneous array means it has almost the same type of array elements. Okay, so it's a homogeneous array. And between these three, only series data is size is immutable. The model size is immutable. You cannot change the size. If once a series is created with a size, then you cannot change the size of the series. So this is what size immutable. So this is the concept of series. Similarly, if we go with the data frames, the second type of data structure, we have data frames. Now in data frames, what we have is a two dimension. It has two dimensions and the size is mutable. It has a mutable size and it can store heterogeneous type columns. Now what is heterogeneous type columns? Let me write it down. A column, heterogeneous type columns, every homogeneous array. This is because it consists of a single single line, like it is like the something like this, 1 comma 2, something like this. So it is consisting of a single line. So that's why it is a homogeneous. But over here, as it is a two dimension, it will consist of a several numbers like 1, 2, 3 in the first row, a sort of type matrices, you can say. So each column needs to be homogeneous. Sorry, each column can be heterogeneous. Okay, each column can be heterogeneous. Means this column can contain anything else, and this column can contain anything else. So that is what heterogeneous type columns means. Okay. Now, then it has a size mutable. We can change the size of this. I have some spelling mistake over here, I believe. Let us quick fix it. Yeah. Now, similarly, we'll go for the panels. In the panels, it is a three dimension again. Three dimension. Then the size is immutable. Sorry, size is mutable. We can change the size because it has also the multi. Now, what is a panel 3D? You can say if you can stack multiple data frames in a container. You just imagine a concept of multiple data frames in a container of cubic container or rectangular container. Then it gives you panel of data, a lot of data in a 3D structure. That is what we call as the panel data frames. Sorry, data structures. Okay, so you can say general 3D label because we can utilize for 3D. Okay, now visualizing or implementation 3D or the panels in a graphical representation is very difficult. Okay, it's not actually possible through the normal softwares because we can use the softwares only for this which has 3D orientation, then only we can see the graphs and all everything. So we will go basically for the data frames and series in this entire data pandas tutorial. Now you can say that we can start with the series then. If we go deep into the series, then we have a lot of things to understand and learn over here in series. Now, as I told, series is a one-dimensional array, okay, like structures with homogeneous data. So you can say that if we take a following example like 10, 20, 30, 40, 60. So if you take this as an example, then this you can say as a series type of data because it has a homogeneous data. You cannot take an example of the like this A. This is not correct. This is not a homogeneous type of data. You need to have numbers only. That is what a homogeneous type of data is, and this is what a series. Now, a series consists of several things like it has a data, it has index, it has data type, the type of the data that you're giving to it, and it has a copy. So how we can do this actually, we can have, okay, let me comment this, and we write it something like this, the declaration pandas. If you're importing panda over here, we need to import panda first of all, import pandas. Okay, we are just importing pandas over here, and now we can write it something like pandas.series, and inside this series I believe S is capital. Inside the series we can write data. The data is the variable or the list or the tuple values that we're going to send in the data structure, and then we have the index value, and then we have the d type. Now d type is the data type of the values, and then we have the copy. If you want to copy the data, by default copy is false. Okay, so basically won't use for everything. We'll use this data and this index in this tutorial, because data type is also not our consideration now, because if you want to go for all of these, it is a very huge topic. So we won't consider this now. We'll only focus on data and index. Now panda series consists of actually takes data, like it takes arrays, it takes dictionary, it takes directly the scalar value or the constant. So let me write it down. Data accepted by series. Okay. So the data that are accepted are, number one, you can say is an array. Now for creating an array, you know how to create an array, you need to have the concept of numpy. And this is why I introduced the concept of numpy before the concept of pandas. Okay. Now in the second thing, we have, you can say dictionary. And the third, you can say directly the constant values or scalar values, scalar or constant. So these are the things that you can see. Now, okay, let me write the number over here. That series does accept. Now, one by one, we will just go for each and every point, and we will try to take the data as an input. Now, first of all, our first task is to create an empty series. Create an empty series. Now to create an empty series, first of all, we'll import the pandas. We have already imported the pandas. Okay. Now, as we have imported pandas, we have taken the pandas over here, and then we can have, like, if you want to store the data as s equals to pandas dot series, and inside that we'll want to pass on the data if you want. If you want to just create a blank or empty series, you're going to put this square parentheses inside this blank, and this will create you an empty series. And if you want to print this, then we'll find the output like this is a data type, and means it is a type of series which has no values, and d type is normal, and float 64. Basically the d type that it takes is float 64. Now we'll just print s, and we'll see on that if it comes the same. So we're gonna just python dot slash session 4 day 1. So let us wait, it will take a little time. Now you can see by default the data type is float 64, and then this is the blank data or empty series that we have created over here. So this is how you can get the actual orientation of the pandas, that how it gives on the data. Now if you want to create a data, first example will be the array type of data. If you want to create an array type of data, then how to do this? So let me comment this. Create a series from, you can say array, or you can say the actual name of it, nd array. We call the array through numpy is nd array. Now for introducing numpy concept over here, the array concept, we need to import it. So first of all, we'll import numpy as np. Now as we have taken over here and as np, so now we can use the entire thing as np dot something. Now similarly we can do this for pandas as pd. Now we can use pandas entire thing as a short notation pd. Okay, So we'll create this. Now we have imported the files. Now we will create an array. So let our array name is data np dot array, and inside this we'll pass on the values. So in a list we'll pass on the values a comma b comma c comma d comma e, maybe. Okay, I need to give the quotes. Let me provide the quotes. Okay, done with the quotes. Now created an array. If you want to print directly the array, you can print it away. We'll find it is an array type data. And if you execute this code, then it will become an array type thing. See, it's giving you the type of array. Now let me eliminate these all things. Okay, so it's giving us the array. Now, if you want to introduce it to the series, so how we're going to do, we're going to create an spd.series, and inside this, we're going to pass on the data. Now, it's pd, and we're going to print s. That's it. If we just execute this code, then let us see what is the output. Okay, s is capital. We remember of the case. Yeah, you can see we have got data. Now our data are A, B, C, D, E, and these are the index numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the index number, and these are the your series values. Okay, these are the index numbers, and these are the values. Now, if you wanna means write your own series, means you're gonna decide that you wanna give your own index numbers, then you can do something like this. You can copy this and comment this. Provide user defined index values. So just paste on it, and then we're gonna do this very simple thing. We'll just put a comma and then provide the index equals to, and then in a square bracket we're going to provide the index. For example, we want 100, 101, 102, 103, 104. We have 5 values over here, we have 5 values over here. And now if we execute this code, then you will see that we have changed the index values properly, and now the new index values come with 100, 101, 102, 103, 104. You can see over here. So this is how the things over here goes. So this is the way method of changing the index values. I hope you understood this. If you understood this till here, just let me know in the comment section. If you have any doubt regarding this topic, okay. So I got an explanation of understood, and now we can move forward. So as you can see, this is the way how we give the index values and store the series values through array. If you wanna just take on the values, like if you want 100, what is the index value 100 has the value consist of the value of. So you can do something like this: print s of 100. Now this will let you know that what 100 index value consists of. You can see we have got the values a. Now the 100th index is consisting of the value a. So this is a type of, you can say, a combination of dictionary as well as a combination of list, which makes the data understood and accessible easily. Everything is dependent on us, how we're going to name the index values, how we're going to do what you want to do. So this is how we can do this. Now, what we can do is we can just again take the entire thing, copy this. Okay, now we won't do this because we have discussed everything over here. We'll shift to the dictionary. We will go to the dictionary, and in dictionary, like over here, yeah, dict. We have dictionary. We will go switch on the dictionary. This is number 2. Storing series data through dictionary. From okay, from dictionary. Now, doing this is again a simple thing. Over here, the profit of storing it in a dictionary is we need not give the index values. The values of the dictionary key values will be taken considered as the index value over here. So if you want to see this, we can just create a thing. We can have a data that is equals to a dictionary, and let it be 1 comma Amr, then a, sorry, 1, not a comma, it will be a colon. This is the proper syntax, comma 2 comma sorry, colon. Similarly, if we move forward, so this is the 3 letters that we have written over here. And now we'll just take it into series. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna just put like s equals to, we'll just pass on pd dot series, and inside this we're gonna pass on the data. Now we have stored your dictionary into a data variable. Now we'll just take on this variable over here and we'll just store the series, and now we'll just print s. Now if you're doing print s, then what happens if we just execute this code, then you will find that we are getting the index values. You can see this in this index value is the key value. We are getting this index value as the key values over here. So this is how we will just convert the dictionary directly into an data frame, you can say data structure. So this is for the way. Now, if you want to have one more example of this, to define your own index values, or you can arrange the values according to yourself, then you can do something like this, like let me copy this and comment this, arranging as per our choice. Now for this, what we will do is just paste this, and over here we'll pass on the index, and inside this index we'll arrange the values as per our requirement. For example, we want 3 first, then we want 1, and at last we want 2. So this is the way that we want the data to be. We want 3 first, then we want the index 1, and then we want the index 2. If we are making this arrangement and then we are printing the statement, you will find that we are getting the data in the same manner. We are getting 3 first. You can see 3, we had hello. We are getting 1 for 1 second, and we are getting 2 at the last. This is what data arranging is done using the index values. Now, if we don't have a value, for example, if you write something like we have the 2 integer, but we don't have the 2 character, then it will be giving you a none. Excuse me. It will give you a none, that it is not, data is not available. Okay, so this will give you a none, and we will know that there is no data of this index number. Now, if we move to the scalar value, scalar quantity, then what happens? We can directly store the scalar numbers into this. Okay. Now, let me comment this. Now, we'll create a series from scalar. Now, you might be thinking that why these all things are important, rather we can do this with any other elements. Actually, when the data, you can see that in dictionaries and all, we had to do the data maximum 50, 60, 70, 80 students maybe. But if you have data of lakhs, 10 lakhs, millions, then at that time, those way of orientations will be very, very slow, and we can easily do the same things using these pandas very, very easily. And actually making the format to the pandas format is much more important, because if you want to do the analysis, then the analysis could be done using pandas, and pandas always supports its own format. So that is also a very important factor for a better orientation. Okay. There is some noise coming from the background. Just switch off your audio. Okay. So now we'll move forward. So if we want to store a normal or single scalar unit, so we're going to have the same thing. If you want to store it in data, you can store it in data, or else directly also you can store it. So you can write s equals to pd dot series, and inside this we'll want to pass on the values, like if you want to check 10 comma, you can give the index numbers, like you want index values. Okay, let me provide one by one. If you're directly printing this, then what will happen? You can see print s. If you're directly printing this, then you can see this is going to be happening. We will get directly 0 and we'll get 10. Now we'll just again copy this part and paste it over here. And now we're going to provide an index. And not only will provide from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. You can do like this. Now, if you want to print this, then you will find a huge difference from these all dictionary part and this all array part. You will find a huge difference over here, because over here we'll continuously repeat the same number for that many times. From 1 to 8, you have 10 only. You can see over here. Okay. Now, if you move, means you can say, like if you want a multiple of numbers over here, then I will just copy this, and I will have a multi numbers, like I will just create a list, and I will pass on a multiple of numbers over here, like 1, 50, 84, 96, 56, 36, 47, 85. So these are the multiple of numbers. And over here, I will give some extra numbers also. Let us see what happens. So we'll just save this code and we'll just execute this. You can see we will get a length of past values is 8, index implies 10. You can see over here. Over here, we passed only one value, but the index values were very, very large. But when we are using a list type, that means we are specifying the values or number of values that's going to be sent. When we are specifying this, then we need to have exactly the same number of values over here in the index. Now if we save this code and execute this code, so you will find that we are getting the values as per our index numbers, whatever we wanted. So this is how we get the values. So are you clear with the series from Scalar? Just let me know in the comment section. Okay, I will repeat it again. Now you can see over here, this is a series of from scalar number. The scalar or the number you can say is a single number. If you directly write this 10 over here, that means it will start from the zeroth position and end till the length. So it has only one length, so it will end till zero. Now, if you provide an index of, if you provide a scalar and some index values, since it has only one value, so it will repeat that value for this many times. How many times you write, it's upon you. You can write n number of times and it will repeat the same value n number of times. But when you are fixing the values into a list, then what happens? It will not repeat n number of times. It will just give the index number to the particular value. One first value will get the first index number, second value will get the second index number, third value will get the third index number. So this is how it will work. You can see over here, first get the first index number, second gets second index number, and this continues. As all the values are of integer type, so it's giving the data type as int64. So now we're gonna have some like we're gonna access the data using positions. We'll just comment this. Now we'll be accessing the data using positions. Now over here we'll again define a series. Maybe we can copy the above series. Let us copy this and paste it over here. Okay. So here we have the series right over here. And now if you want to access or retrieve the first element of this series, then you can just do something like this. If we, okay, let me make it a little easier for you so that you can understand what is the position and what is the index values. Okay, so we have defined now the positions, and let us print this so that it is easier for us to understand. Print s. Okay, so you can see we have got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H as the position, I mean index numbers. Now, if we are accessing the data as a position, for example, we want the data at the first position, that is the zeroth position. So we can write something like this: print s of 0. Now, if I'm writing something like this s of 0, this denotes that we are not asking for the index values, rather we are asking for the position value. And the position value is 1 over here, so we're going to get 1. So let us execute this code. You can see we are getting 1. If you write third position, that is 2, 0, 1, 2, and this position has 84 into it. So we're gonna get 84 into it. Just let us execute this code. You will find that we are getting 84 into it. So this is what accessing the values using positions. Now we can access the values using index also. For accessing the values using index, we're gonna write s the index value, like if you want the index value of key, then we can write index key. And if you access it, then you will find, I believe, key has the value 56. Yeah, we are getting 56 over here. So this is how position, accessing value using positions and accessing value using index. Now, if you have an index number 2 over here, if you are providing an index value 2 over here, then what happens? This 2, sorry, let me change this. I'm just providing over here a 2. Okay. Now what happens? Let us see. Because let me comment this. Because as per our requirement, we want the position 2, but we also have an index value 2 over here. According to position, the number should be 84, but according to the index, the number should be 85. So let us see what is the output. You can see we are getting 85. That means if we are using numbers as an index, then the position values are overruled. I repeat my statement. It is that if we have an index value as an integer, then the position values are overruled by the index value. Okay. So first preference is the if there is some index of the same number, if it is present there. For example, we don't have any index over here, like we don't have any two index value over here. We have then let us see what happens. It throws an error. I will just save it again and I will just execute it again. It throws an error. Now let me you tell me why it is happening. As we told, the series are consist of a homogeneous values. Okay, if we want to change the value, then it can store the values. But rather, when we want to experiment those values, then what happens? It, rather than giving a none, it throws an error because it cannot see whether the other values are present or not, because you cannot check it. Now, if we are just changing this, if we are just eliminating this and we are writing again h, okay, now we will just have an index that is not present over here, like I. You can see over here we are just checking the same homogeneous value. I is not present, but it is a character type and it is of same homogeneous value. Now if we execute this code, okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, length of past values is 8. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. If this is correct, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. This is okay. We haven't set a comma. Yeah, you're right, Ankita. So we'll just execute this code again, and it's still giving an error, but it shouldn't have got this error. It shouldn't have told us it's a none. Okay, I need to see this error. I need to just study on this because it should have told us none, as it is the same, having the same values over here. It should have told us none. Okay, so this is a rather other part. Let us make this I and just save it. We'll just have it on this. Now there's another thing that we can do over here is the slicing. We can have the slicing of the objects. Like if you want to have the slice, like you want to have the position from 0th position to 3rd position or the 4th position, then you can do the normal slicing, like print s of, in the square brackets we're gonna have a colon, and we're gonna have the numbers, like if you want from 0th position to 2nd position. So I'm gonna put the 3 because 0 1 2 and it will go for 3 minus 1 till 2. So let us execute this. You will find over here that we are getting only 3 values. So let me comment this so that we get a proper value explanation. You can see we are getting only the three values, A, B, C, the position numbers. So this is how we put slicing into play. Now there are many ways of slicing, whatever you want to do. If you want to have a negative slicing, then you can have from minus sign to the positive one. So these are the various type of slicing that we could do over here. If you want to have the last three elements, then you can put something like this. Over here we had the first three elements. If you want to have the last three elements, then minus 3 and a colon. Then it will be providing you the last three elements. Let us execute this. You can see you are getting F, G, I, and the last three elements. This is how it can be manipulated. The data can be played easily. Okay. Now, if you want to check, there is one more thing that we can have it over here. That if you want to check multiple data, like we have checked only one index values. If you want to have the multiple index values, like print s of, you can say we want index value a, comma, okay, let me index value a, then a comma, index value b, and index value I. If we want to print this index values, then this is the orientation how. Now uh, we need to pass on inside another list. This is because this entire list will be considered as the index, and one by one it will retrieve all the index values. So this is why we want to have two index values, two lists. Okay, it's throwing us an error. I believe this is a compiler min.gw issue, because it shouldn't have thrown us an error over here, because everything goes well. A is present, B is present, and I is also present. These two errors shouldn't have happened, the previous one and this one, because I believe it's a min.gw error. Let us read it once. What is it trying to tell us? Hash table.get return search engine 4730 index value. Okay, but if you go for the normal Python, like if you go for the Jupyter and all, you can try this. This will work. Okay, it is it will work completely. This is the way how we work on this. So let me comment this. I need to see on the issues why it is not working, because it should have taken its data. So okay, let me do one more thing. Let me remove this. Maybe over here we don't require the second value. Maybe let us see. No, it's still showing us the error. So I need to just take it off, that how why it is taking this, because it shouldn't have done this. So rather we have finished this series and this today's topic. So if you have any doubts other than these two errors, then you can just put on the comment section, so that we could just clarify your doubts. Just let me know in the comment section. If you are clear with the topics, just write down clear. Okay. So for today, we have this minutes topic only. Today, I have a very simple task for you, a little homework type. Read map function and a list, try to convert a list that consists of all characters A, B, sorry, not A, B, C, D, numbers into characters, like 1 is a character type, similarly 2, similarly 3, these all things, and try to convert it to the integer type in one line using map. I repeat my question. There's a list consisting of numbers into character types, and you have to convert each and every number into integer type and store it in again a list. And you know to convert the means it through in a single line using map function. So just try to do this because this is very important. Knowing what is map function, and it will be helping you from at least reducing it to your code to one line rather than making it to 5 lines. Okay, so just go for this. Today is your homework. This. So I believe there is no doubt for today. So we'll just end up this session over here. Thank you for being with us. Thank you.